Welcome to Greg Mortis's Little World of Horror. This is my Slash from the Stash movie review that I do each and every Sunday for you, the viewers. Thanks for tuning in for another exciting episode. No real Blu-ray DVD update this week, unfortunately. I'm saving up my money because I'm looking at some stuff to order from Trick or Treat Studios. If you haven't been to their website, I highly recommend going to I believe it's trickortreatstudios.com. And I know when I done my video for, I believe it was, I forget how I labeled it, I think it was my horror collection, but I believe it was part 1, I showed my Halloween mask that I have from number 2, the one that's the plain Michael Myers mask, and then I got the one with the blood coming down the eyes. Those two came from Trick or Treat Studios. Well, I've been on their site recently, and they've released several. They have Resurrection, which I really like that one. And also they got the 3 from Silver Shamrock, the Skull, the Pumpkin, the Witch. And they come with the microchip logos. So I'm definitely saving up. They've got some really amazing looking masks and memorabilia at a really reasonable price. So my movie buying will probably be very limited here for the next little bit as I'm saving up to get some of those in my collection. So bear with me. I will, periodically be buying movies, but just not like I have been, unless I come by an amazing deal, and then I'm not going to pass it up. But this week on my movie review, is a movie I actually did just pick up today. So I guess you could say this is my Slash from the Stash mini review / Blu-ray review. How's that? Because I did pick up one. It's a movie I've owned, but I haven't had it on Blu-ray. And it's a movie, I believe, on the very first Slash from the Stash I did. And I apologize, I can't remember who commented, but I'd mentioned about, if you had any movies you want me to review, let me know. And somebody had told me they wanted me to review this movie, and I just wanted to wait until I picked it up on Blu-ray so I could see what it looked like on the transfer and the bonus features and all, and get a good grip of what it's like. That way I could say whether I believe it's worth a purchase or not. So with that, let's go ahead and break into it. Movie I am going to review, I did just pick this up brand new for $15 today on Blu-ray. But it's 1981, and the movie is The Prowler. I absolutely am going to tell you straight up, I love this movie. Directed by Joseph Zito, who I absolutely love. He did Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter. He did Missing in Action with Chuck Norris. He also did Red Scorpion with Dolph. And oh man, this movie is so good. But it is The Prowler. 1981, there's the back, and this is a Blue Underground release. I really like Blue Underground. I own some of their DVDs and Blu-rays. When you open it up, this is what the disc looks like. There you go with the Prowler, and then it does not have a reversible slip cover, but I do like the inside cover of this. I'll take it out so you can see it. That's a scene from the actual movie. Creepy looking bloody dude with white eyes, but I absolutely am going to go ahead and tell you this is a purchase, before I even get into the review, but definitely I'm going to talk about it a little bit. The special effects is by Tom Savini, who, if you know anything about Greg Mortis, I talk highly about Tom Savini's work. He is, to me, definitely one of the kings of special makeup effects, especially from the 80s. He was just, and still is, an amazing makeup artist. The effects that he is able to do look so lifelike and realistic. And just look at his biography, and just look at his filmography, the movies that he's been a part of. And it's hard to argue. I don't care whether you like him as a person or not. You cannot argue with the work that this individual, Tom Savini, has done. And this is definitely one of his shining moments in my eyes from this movie, The Prowler. Just an amazing cinematographical guru of effects in this movie. If that made sense. Did that make sense? I don't know, Michael. Let me hang on one second. Let me see if I did that properly. Michael, was that a proper word? And let's see what Michael says about that. No. So yeah, that term did not come out too good. But anyways, yeah, I mean, this movie just spotlights his kills. And Tom Savini, who had done effects in so many films, Dawn of the Dead, and you go down the line, Friday the 13th, and my God, Maniac, and the list just keeps going on, and I love him. I've met him at conventions probably 3 times, I guess now, and I do have his autograph picture, and I really do respect this individual, man, and Joseph Zito, who done a tremendous job in the direction of this movie. So let's go ahead and break right into it. Like I said, it is from 1981, and looking at the cover, it says, "If you think you're safe, you're dead wrong," is the caption there. And then on the back right here, where it says The Prowler, I like this. It says one of the slasher genre's finest moments, and that was from, let me see who that was from, Horror Digital. So with that, I mean, I highly recommend this film, and I've got to agree with that. One of the slasher genre's finest moments. Definitely was hitting in the high life of the slasher movement in the 80s. This one came along. Now, this one is not talked about as much as what I would think it would be. You know, you get the mentions, of course, in the 80s. You always think Halloween and Friday the 13th, and even Maniac gets more talk than this one, and just so many of those. But it seems like The Prowler sometimes is overlooked, and that's a shame, because it is such, for me, such a strong film. From action to, you know, even the acting, the direction of it, the feel of it, and the kills, of course. So for me, a very underlooked film that really should get more praise in my eye than what it gets. But anyways, it is The Prowler. What I'm going to do is take my glasses off so I can read, and I'll just do the plot and read the back of the Blu-ray right here for you, and then I'll get into it. It says, Avalon Bay, 1945. On the night of her graduation dance, young Rosemary and her date are brutally murdered by a prowler thought to be a jilted soldier home from the war. The killer was never found. 30 years later, the dance is held again for the first time since that horrific ending. But something else may have also returned. Tonight, the teens of this sleepy town will meet their grisly ends at the hands and pitchfork, blade, and more of the prowler. It says, also known as Rosemary's Killer, this gruesome shocker is one of the cruelest body count movies of the 1980s, thanks to I can't even speak tonight, razor sharp direction by Joseph Zito, Friday the 13th Final Chapter, and graphic gore effects by Tom Savini, Dawn of the Dead, Maniac. Hollywood legends Farley Granger from Strangers on a Train, and Lawrence Tierney from Reservoir Dogs star in this rarely seen sleeper from the golden age of the slasher films, now presented completely uncut and uncensored in grisly high definition. And also, this film has audio commentary with producer-director Joseph Zito and special makeup effects artist Tom Savini. I haven't had a chance because I just have bought this, you know, literally 2.5 hours ago and just finished watching it. I did watch, there's Tom Savini's behind the scenes of gore footage. That was really cool. It was 10 minutes of footage of just showing how he's doing the kills in this film. It's grainy, it's VHS looking quality, but it's still real entertaining to see how they pulled these effects off. And then it also has a theatrical trailer. So let me get into it. First of all, like I said, this was released by Blue Underground, who does a really decent job at their releases. They get a lot of good titles under their belt, so this is definitely a strong one. Highly recommended. Like I said, I picked this one up brand new for $14.99 tonight, and very glad to have it now in my Blu-ray collection. Excuse me. But the acting in this film is fairly strong. The story is, you know, a simplistic type story. but it really flows really well. It opens up with stock footage from the war back in 1944, and just, you know, kind of what you saw if you were in high school in the 70s and 80s. You know, you've seen these stock footages of the boats and the military individuals coming back home and stuff, and that's what you see. And there's a letter being written or read, and it's kind of one of them letters where the girl's writing to the soldier saying that, you know I said I'd wait, but you've been gone so long, and it's basically a breakup letter. What a horrible, man, way to be serving your country in a foreign country, risking your life, and the girl that you were going to marry ends up sending you a letter that she's, you know, breaking up with you. That's horrible. But anyways, later on that year, that was 1944, is when it shows, and then 1945 during the dance, then Rosemary's murdered and so forth, and then we flash forward to the dance, and now the dance is taking place, and it's the first time that this graduation party dance, whatever you want to call it, has took place since the murder. And you got introduced the sheriff, who's played by Farley Granger. His name was Sheriff George Fraser. Very small role. He basically is in the movie about 2 minutes, and he's got his deputy. And I was trying to remember what the deputy's name was. I believe it was Ben. But anyways, he's basically left alone because the sheriff, as supposedly every summer, he takes off for a fishing trip, so he leaves the deputy in charge. And when he does that, that's when all hell breaks loose. And really good acting, I thought. The star of the movie was played by Pam McDonald, and that her real name's Vicki Dawson. She was in some soap opera shows and stuff like that. But I thought the cast was really decent in this. The acting was really cool. The story was pretty strong. I actually enjoyed the story, the way, you know, the characters flowed. You got your jocks, you got your geeks, you got all that moments, you got your sex in it, and nudity and all this stuff that you always get in slashers, especially from the 80s. But what you get in this film that makes it such an amazing film is those gore effects by Tom Savini. I mean, he was able to amp up to kills to where there's one, I'll mention a few of them without trying to necessarily spoil it for you, because I definitely, if you've never seen it, want you to watch it. But what you're in store for when you do is, you've got one kill with a pitchfork to a lady up under the breast, and it's kind of jabbed in and then raised up. That was a really cool kill. You got a couple kills where he kind of, the same effect that he did in Friday the 13th with Kevin Bacon, kind of rehashing that but in a different way. But the sword through the throat, you get that. You get one through the head, through the neck. That was amazing. You get a sword ripping around the throat, and it's kind of continually being grinded, almost like the neck's being severed. Amazing. I mean, that's just some of the kills you get in it. And you get the resurrection of the maniac head splatter scene. You get that in the Prowler as well, where a head is just exploded, Scanner-esque, and it's just awesome to watch, man. I'm telling you, this one is a golden movie that if you do not own it, it's a must own. If you don't have a Blu-ray player, definitely get it on DVD. But if you do own a Blu-ray player, I highly recommend it. The picture quality is good. It's not what I would call amazing. It does still have some graininess to it, but that's okay. That don't bother me. I mean, they've done a decent job at the transfer, so I'm not going to knock it too bad, but it's not, to me, like the Motel Hell transfer from Scream Factory, or a lot of the Scream Factory releases, but it's still really good. I was very impressed with the overall look of this Blu-ray, so, you know, I highly recommend it. It's such an amazing film to watch, and I literally want to pop it back in and just watch it from start to finish again, just so I can see these kills. It was that entertaining. So if you don't own the Prowler, it gets the double thumbs up for me. It's a definite purchase. Highly recommend it, and I'm sure you can find it for the $15 range, or maybe even used a little bit cheaper. So I highly recommend it. Blue Underground, great job. Joseph Zito, great job directing, and of course the effects and the cinematography. Another great thing about this movie too, before I end this, was the music, the score of this. I thought was spot on. I mean, it's synthesized, you know, keyboard and kind of overlapped orchestral style music, and it kind of reminds me somewhat of Friday the 13th-esque, but not necessarily Harry Manfredini style, but still has kind of that feel, and it worked in it. I mean, when it needed to kind of build up, that he was able to start it kind of slow, and it kept working its way up, and then that moment, man, it was really awesome. So yeah, the score, cinematography was really well done, the effects, the acting, direction, stellar movie. It's a must-own. Let me give you a good close-up of it. There's the Prowler, and that cool little scene where he's holding this girl right here, and then I'll try to get you a good close-up of the back without it blurring too bad. And it's not going to try to clear up. I apologize. There we go. Some blood splatter on the back. So yeah, highly, highly, highly recommend this film. Definitely one of the strongest slashers of the 80s for me. A go-to flick. So if you don't own it, get it. 1981, The Prowler. Joseph Zito, bam, stellar job. Tom Savini at his best. Cool looking killer. He's all decked out in military style with the boots and the get up, and you see him putting it on slowly in the first of the movie, and he's lacing his boots, and he's putting his knife in his boot, and then he's got his knife or sword in his hip pocket, and a gun, and war helmet with a kind of a camouflaged cover-up mask kind of deal. Simplistic, but worked. So highly recommend it. It is The Prowler, 1981. So that's my slash from the stash. I hope you've enjoyed it. Like I said, slash from stash / Blu-ray pickup for this week. I am expecting a package hopefully tomorrow or first of this week, coming all the way from the UK. So when I get that, I'll do an unbubbling for you. If you don't subscribe to me, definitely subscribe to me. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Comment below and share it. And just stay tuned. All the new subscribers I've got, thank you. I plan on hopefully, if I reach the 250 subscriber mark, I've been talking about this a little bit on Land of the Creeps. If I hit that 250 subscriber mark, I'll do a giveaway. Hadn't decided what movies or what I'll be giving away, but I'll try to make it something special. So once I get to the 250 mark, that'll be happening. I need to actually check. I don't check my YouTube like I totally should, so I need to see how many subscribers I have right now. Hell, I might have 1,000, don't even know it. But thanks to each and every one of you that do subscribe to me and comment. I don't get to the comments as much as I'd like. I'll try to get better at that, but I do thank every one of you that totally comment on every video. Blu-ray Evan, Vampire, Black Ninja, and man, I'm gonna start getting butchered here because I can't remember all of you that do comment. Ben Parsons, all these people. God, man, there's others. I know there is, and I keep forgetting the Omen and Matt McDaniels. All of you, man. I do read them all. Just got to start getting better responding to them. Such a hectic schedule. I will start trying to do better at that. But until next time, slash from the stash, The Prowler, 1981. Till my unbubbling or my next video, man, this is Greg Mortis. This is my little world of horror, and this is my slash from the stash for Sunday, October 5th. Until next time, this is me signing out.